Okay, let's do this. I'm so excitedly nervous. Oh, hi, Sabrina. Hi, guys. I'm going to try my best to not talk too loud, but not talk too low. And I'm not whispering, just, because I've been practicing a little bit more and trying to get used to this microphone. And when I talk too loud or I get overly excited, it makes a really ugly, scratchy sound. And I, if y'all knew how many times I've recorded this episode, I've worn like six different outfits. I've re-recorded, pre-recorded. I've done the whole nine. I tried so many times, and it just wasn't to my like Sabrina. It just wasn't to my liking. I don't know, especially the audio. That's what was getting me the most. I look cute, but the audio was horrible, and so I was like, no, I'm not gonna let you have to put little warnings for you guys to like mess with the volume and do all of that stuff. Like that was too much. Okay. Anyway, guys, hello. My name is Alice. If you don't already know me, and this is Sabrina. She is the face behind the name Sabrina La Brujilla. If you haven't met her already, this is her. She's a cute little torty girl. She's about 5. She's about 5. She's sassy and she's feisty, but she's so stinking sweet and she loves everybody and everybody loves her until they catch her on a bad day. Luego ya no la quiere. But this is my baby, mi brujita. She's such a cutie pie. And I guess it worked out perfectly. God's timing is always perfect and on time. What more can I say? I've tried to record this episode, like I said, so many times. The very first recording I did, the first day that I tried to record, she came out. She just hopped on my lap and she just sat there the whole entire 17-minute video. And then I don't know, I didn't like it. And so I didn't go with it. And there was another one that I recorded that I really liked what I was talking about, but she didn't make her cameo, and so then I was already like excited that she showed her kitty face on the first recording, and I was kind of sad she didn't. And yeah, I didn't bribe her to be up here, by the way. I didn't give her treats. No le I can't say it out loud 'cause she's gonna go crazy. I didn't give her any treats or anything like that. She wants you guys to know she exists and she's here and she's defending her mama, my baby. Um, well, guys, I'm so excited to be recording our first video episode. I'm a little bit nervous. A little part of me is anxious, and my heart's beating fast. I can't lie, my heart's beating fast. At least with the voice episodes, I could like hide behind the camera. If you know me, you know me. And if you don't, well, you gotta do a deep search because all of my stuff is on private on social media anyway. But our time has come. We're here. We're doing our video episode. Me planché el pelo for work tomorrow. But also I was like, okay, I'm feeling myself. I feel cute with my straight hair. Um and I think I'm ready to record today. No, I know I'm ready to record today. And with that being said, the topic for today's episode is, well, this is going to be a part 2 to being yours again, my episode 2 where I talk about like, well, I kind of ranted and rambled, but um just getting back into the flow of who you are and identifying who you are and what you want from life and things like that. And so I was thinking about it this whole last week. What more I could have said in that episode because it was nighttime. Ya estaba cansada, like I wanted to go to sleep already. Um, and I've been thinking, what more could I have said? And the ideas have been ideaing. I have like come up with so many more things to talk about and like so many more topics to touch on. And so, um, I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. I've had a lot of time to think, so I know what I want to talk about. But yeah, so let's get started. So, um, a part I think and I feel and I've been experiencing about being yours again. I want to just give a disclaimer that it doesn't mean that anyone did anything for you to cause you to get back on that healing journey to be yours again. Sometimes it's not other people, sometimes it's just you. Sometimes you just get tired of being the victim. Sometimes you just get tired of crying over every single thing. Girl, stop crying. It's okay, I promise. And that's coming from me. I'm an emotional girly. I cry a lot. But now we're going to cry with a purpose. And we're going to make the mostly happy tears, not sad tears or angry tears. That's the one that gets me. Them angry tears. That'll do it for you and for me. Um, and so I feel like there's a lot of things that could push you to start or restart that path that you were on to become yours again and to find yourself again and to identify who you are and what your purpose in this life is and what fulfills you. Because yes, it could be someone else's doing that put you on the path. Um it could be some traumas that you've had that have put you on that path. It could be a heartbreak that put you on that path. It could be a job loss. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be like an episode that you have or your anxiety or something, but it could also just be that you're just fed up. You're just fed up with conforming. You're fed up with only getting half of what you want and settling because it's half of what you want, but you're not giving it your all, you know? I hope you guys know. And if you don't know, well, now you know. I'm so corny. I think I am so funny. So I'm sorry if you guys aren't gonna laugh at my jokes. I think I'm funny. um, and yeah, guys. So with that little disclaimer being said, I really want to touch on the topic of letting go of fear to get on this new path. So, um, from my personal experience, I have always been, I think, my biggest hater. And that doesn't just go for critiquing myself or being like really difficult with myself. That goes with letting others' opinions, letting others' fears, their worries make me change my mind on what I'm gonna do and on what my heart wants to do and what my mind wants to do. And so I feel like as humans, and I don't know if a lot of men can relate to this. I'm not a man, so I don't know. But I can say some women, maybe not all, some can agree that when you're not fully centered and connected to yourself, it's so easy for other people to influence your life, for other people to influence your choices, and for you to let it. Maybe you don't in that moment, but it's something that's ruminating. It starts like grinding your gears. It starts being a constant thought in your mind, and then it triggers you. So whenever you do something or you think of something or you're even just excited about something new, you remember what that person told you. And you remember how this other person told you you aren't pretty enough. I remember how another person told you, well, I don't think that's for you. But how can anyone know what's truly for you if that's what you want to do? Ah, it's okay. I'm learning that too. Trust me, I'm learning that too. How can anyone speak for you? And more than that, everyone has their own life experiences. A lot of things are shared human experiences, but the reason why you experience them and the reason why you go through them is different for every single person. Maybe the big idea is kind of the same, but the actions that the person took when they were going through it are very different from the actions that you're taking, or you can take, or you will take. Um, and I feel like once you let go of that fear, once you let go of that lack of self confidence and the insecurity that you feel within, that allows you to take in every single thing that someone has to say about you and to you. That's when you truly start finding your higher calling, and that doesn't mean that you're going to like just be in the zone. You're just going to connect with God and your guides and your ancestors and all of those people, um, just from one decision. But it'll help you get closer. Like it'll help you open your heart and open your mind and really, really, really think clearly about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if what you're doing is something you're doing from the heart. Because no matter what someone says, if you know what you're doing and you feel called to do something, be that by God, by your guides, by your ancestors. I always mention all three because those are my people. Yeah. Um, if you're feeling called to do something, then do it. And I can really say that not for everyone, but it's important that before you even mention it to anyone, you keep it to yourself. You do a little pre planning, you do some research, you really look into it. And once you think you have a grasp, grab it and run. Like, really commit yourself to doing what you think could possibly bring you fulfillment. Who knows? This podcast might not end up anywhere. I pray it does, but it might not end up going anywhere. But that doesn't mean I'm not fulfilled. That doesn't mean I'm not at work thinking about my podcast. I enjoy my job, but that doesn't mean I'm at work not coming up with new ideas of what to talk about, not listening and re-listening to my podcast to see where I can talk a little bit less about this and where I can ramble less, and even with the videos, what I could do to make a little makeshift setup because my apartment's still coming together. And I didn't know where to record. I was having trouble. Hopefully this gets a little better. But I feel very fulfilled and I feel very happy and excited and grateful that after a few months of me really planning and really committing to the idea of starting a podcast, and at that a video podcast, um I talked to all of my people, o sea, my God, my guides, my ancestors, and I decided I was gonna go for it. And I started working on my little logo of Sabrina La Brujía, which is the OG one. If you guys got to see it, cool. If not, I don't think I have any record of it anywhere. So, oh, I do on one of my highlights on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, and on Sabrina La Brujia's Instagram. But then I changed it, and I might change it again. I don't know. Who knows? I'm an ever evolving being, and this podcast is going to be a growing and evolving podcast. I don't know 100% what I'm doing, but I didn't let that hinder me, and I don't plan on letting it hinder me because that's the other thing I want to talk about: self doubt and wanting to be a perfectionist about everything. I think if I would have really, really, really wanted to perfect this and have the right gear and have the right setup and have the right topics and all of this stuff, I wouldn't have started when I did. I would have been starting in 2 years. And maybe I wouldn't have been able to talk about the same things. Maybe I wouldn't have been in the same place in my life where I am. Maybe I wouldn't have been in the same home. Probably. I probably wouldn't have been here still. Um, but I didn't let that stop me. I really sat down, especially with Mi Santísima. I really sat down with her and talked to her about it. Hi, Sabrina. And talked to her about it and told her that I want to do this and I want to commit to it. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. In my eyes, it's okay. I'm learning to not force myself to be perfect. Not for anyone else, but especially not for myself because I'm not perfect. And no one's perfect. So I don't think that you should let self doubt and wanting for things to be perfect hinder you from really putting yourself out there. And putting yourself out there looks different for everyone. Putting yourself out there for me was starting this podcast, but putting yourself out there for you could be vlogging. It could be starting a book club. It could be starting a creative endeavor that brings you money, like a small business. It could be, I don't know, starting a club, like like a book club, but a running club, like something like that. And that's putting yourself out there, doing volunteer work, finding different hobbies, exploring your city. Like, don't hinder yourself because you don't think you're good enough, or because you don't think you're smart enough, or because you don't think you're pretty enough. Or I want to say this too because I feel like it's important, but because you feel like you don't belong where you want to go. I'll give you guys an example. Before I moved here, I was living in an area that was predominantly white. That's okay. I chose where I wanted to live. And once I let go of that self doubt that I'm not that, I don't, clearly I'm not that. I don't fit in that demographic. I might talk like it, but I have on my proper professional voice. Have my work voice on. Um, Once I let go of that self doubt of me thinking that I was going to be judged and I wasn't going to be welcome, I started walking with a different pep in my step. Like I started walking with a different confidence. I don't fear as much anymore going to places where I am not a common sight to see. I don't get as scared anymore. For example, yesterday I went to a new coffee shop. I'm exploring coffee shops. I love coffee, and I shouldn't be drinking too much coffee because me duele mi pancita when I drink too much coffee. But I love me some coffee. And I went and I explored a new coffee shop, and I was hoping and praying. I was like, I'm not gonna look up and see if they have a drive-through because grow up. I'm not in that much of a rush that I can't go inside, but the drive-through is a convenience, and for social anxiety, it's a lifesaver. It's still a little nerve-wracking instead of just pick up or delivery or whatever, but I was kind of hoping and praying that they had a drive-through so I wouldn't have to go inside. And when I got there, I drove around the whole plaza and they didn't have a drive-through, and I was like, fuck. I mentally prepared myself for it, but my heart was racing. I was so nervous. And then I saw a guy, he looked so happy with his coffees. He had like a whole tray, I think like 3 or 4 coffees or something. He looked so happy with his coffee. And I saw the parking lot full, packed. But it was a plaza, so it could have been the other businesses too. But I saw this guy and it gave me like a little bit of confidence. But a different kind of confidence. Like he's so happy to be getting his coffees. I want to feel happy like that. So that was my motivation. And I got out of the car and I was so nervous and I walked in, but I walked in, I would say how singers walk on stage. I walked in focused. I was going straight to the register. I was gonna order my coffee and my pastry. I always order a pastry. I don't like to get just a coffee by itself. I always want a pastry. So um I was gonna get my pastry, but I was so nervous. And then I also told myself I wasn't going to just nervous talk because I remember I'm so sorry. This is one of those things that happens with me where I ramble, but also I have a story for everything. So everything leads me to somewhere where I'm trying to go to prove an idea or to prove say something. But we're gonna go back to the topic. I promise. We're gonna try. So I remember one day I went to Botanica and I'll never forget this girl. She was checking me out and I had just gotten a new statue for Santissima. I got her a little white statue. And she's like, "How's your day going?" And I was so nervous that I just started talking. I don't. It was nothing bad that I talked about. I was just so nervous. I was just talking, and she just was like, she was checking me out, and then she said, "Can I tell you something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like sure. What's up?" She's like, when you're nervous, don't talk so much. I know it might sound bad. I promise it wasn't that. It wasn't how I'm saying it is not how she said it. But she kind of explained and I understood and it made me feel good to hear those words because I knew what I was doing in that moment wasn't the right thing to do, but this was almost 2 years ago now. I couldn't help myself because I was so nervous. I just that was my outlet. And so she told me like when you're feeling nervous, don't just ramble because it makes you look like you're not confident in yourself. And I was like, fuck. I didn't want to hear that. But I needed to hear that. And that's why it didn't hurt my feelings. And that was 2 years ago now. And I've grown a lot from then. Back to the coffee shop. That little story, but back to the coffee shop. When I went in there, I was like, okay, we're not going to do that nervous ramble. Did I ask you how your day was? My day's good. How's your day? Can I get this and this and this? Alrighty, thank you so much. I'll wait for you over here. All right, mentally preparing myself. And it was so calm. It was so cool. The girl was really chill. She took my coffee. She didn't make me feel shy. I mean, another disclaimer, no one can make you anything. Your body, your mind, your heart, your soul makes those things happen. People can be weird around you, but you're the one who accepts that weirdness and you reflect it back on them or you react to it. So, little disclaimer there. But I didn't feel uncomfortable and I didn't feel unwelcome. And so I got my coffee. I saw the little sign like pick up here. I moved over. She gave someone their food and I just patiently waited. I got my little, oh, I got a blueberry muffin. It was really good. I got a blueberry muffin and I got a coffee and I felt really good. And I think walking with that confidence, learning to walk with that confidence at least, and putting myself out there in places where I didn't feel like I would be welcome, places where I felt uncomfortable, places where sometimes I did get weird looks. I won't lie, sometimes I did. And sometimes I gave weird looks because when people look at me weird, I look back. I don't care. um, I think it helped me get to the point where I am today where, so what? So what if someone thinks you're crazy? So what if someone thinks you're doing too much? If someone thinks that you're not doing it right? If someone thinks that you're not good enough to do that. Oh, I love this song. Oh, it's called What You Won't Do for Love by Bobby Caldwell. I heard it on TikTok. That's the only reason why I know the song. Anyway, so I think once you start learning to not give a fuck about what anyone has to say about you, or what anyone thinks about you, or even overthinking yourself into thinking what people could possibly think of you, you're releasing that self doubt and you're learning to have confidence in yourself and in your decisions. And that's when you truly follow your heart. I remember seeing this TikTok video where I don't know her name truly, it was weeks ago now, but she basically said something about Michael Jackson. When he thought about something, he acted on it quick because he knew Prince would probably get the idea and take it. And when I heard that, I was like, damn. I felt seen. That was right before I think I decided to post my first episode. I felt seen and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to start my podcast. Not because I'm racing with anyone, not because I think someone's going to take my idea, because we're all allowed to do whatever we want. And someone's cup of tea might not be my cup of tea. And I might not be someone's cup of tea. And that's okay. But when I heard that, I was like, okay, it it like I can't explain what it did to me, but it made me feel like God again and your guides and your ancestors do not give you ideas, do not put things into your mind and into your heart for nothing. They don't tell you to buy well, take this with a grain of salt. They don't tell you to buy a new piece of furniture for nothing. They don't tell you to go back to school for nothing. They don't tell you that it's the right time to leave a job for nothing. They don't tell you it's the right time to step up at a job for nothing. Um, they don't tell you to start a podcast for nothing. It's all because they know what this is going to lead you to and how it could better your life, how it could change your life. And because only they truly know how much pain or how much sadness or how much worry or any of those negative emotions you could be going through. And they're trying to find a way to give you fulfillment. Um, and they're trying to help you be creative and they're trying to help you love and they're trying to help you find yourself again. Um, and that's the point of this episode. When your guides and God and your ancestors put something into your brain, when they send you a dream, when you suddenly feel that inspiration to do something, when someone says, hey, you would be really good at doing this, again, take with a grain of salt, but really consider it because sometimes you don't see the best in yourself or you don't see what you're truly capable of until someone mentions it. And I would like to give a shout out right now to Paula. You guys don't know Paula, but I know Paula. And if she watches this video and she listens to the audio like episode, I would love to give a shout out to Paula because why am I gonna cry? Because when I had the idea to start a podcast, it was about 2 years ago. And my best friend at the time, I would tell her that I really wanted to do it, and, all of that stuff, but I wasn't really ready. And I'm glad that I didn't do it because I was not ready. And I just had too much going on. I couldn't do it at the time. And so I kind of let the idea go, but it was still something that I was thinking of. You know, when I would see or listen to a really good podcast, I was like, man, I would love to do that. Like, I really think I could do that. I have a lot of stories to tell. Like, I feel like people can listen to me. I feel like I can give good advice or even just be entertainment for someone. I'm here. A view is a view. Thanks, guys. Um, and then back in December when I decided, it was right around my birthday, I think. Yeah, around that time, I finally decided I was gonna do it. I like really focused on what I was gonna do. And it's not perfect, like I said, but I started a page for Santissima, a page dedicated just to Santissima, but I still touch on a few little things here and there. And it's still a brand new page. I think I started in the summer. Yeah, last summer. And it's called Sabrina La Brujía, so that's where the name started. And then it's evolving and it's becoming like the little brand name. But I started that page for Santissima, and if you go look at it, I've posted little stories of how I became a devotee, of how Santissima has helped me, how another deity or another guide of mine has helped me. And I've done her novenas and I've done her rosarios and things like that. And I met Paula, I think last summer, the summer before, and we've started slowly started to like grow into a friendship. And one day she commented on one of my posts and said like I should start a podcast. And when she said that, it made me feel like, I don't know, Mexicans say chiflado, like me sentí chiflada, like stop, girl, don't tell me that because I'm gonna do it. And I did it, and that's why we're here today. Um, so I'd like to give a big shout out to Paula, and I'd like to give a shout out to my mom for supporting me and for telling me I can do it and I can push forward. Oh my god, I'm so emotional. What's going on? And I'd like to give a shout out to my madrina also because she has been a huge support system for me. Like giving me ideas kind of on how to set things up, how to talk, how to um care myself, what topics to kind of touch on. And there's things that I want to talk about in the future, like religious things, spiritual things, Santissima, a little bit more like self growth and healing things. But I have those people who can guide me and who can help me stay on the right path, especially so that I won't bring up taboo topics and things that I can't talk about and really shouldn't be talking about. So, yeah, well, I'd like to give a shout out to those three women. I'm really grateful for them. And yeah, guys, I think with that being said, this is the end of this video episode. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so glad you guys are watching and listening. Thank you. And I'm truly not as nervous as I could have been because I've recorded this like 6 times. Like the nervousness hopped out the window, like it's long gone. But I hope I can get better at staying on track in the future with more episodes and kind of get a better setup going, and dedicate more time to it. And yeah, and I always say this, I think. Well, it's only been 2 episodes. We're on our third one. But I will always say this. If you guys have anything that you want me to talk about, I won't say your name or anything unless you want me to. But if there's anything you want me to talk about in specific, let me know. And I will try my best to give my perspective on it or my experience or my opinion. Or if anything, if I really truly don't know, I won't say I highly doubt that, but try me. Yeah, let's see. But if I really truly don't think I have a good, my mind went blank. If I don't have a true explanation or anything really to contribute, then I have people that I can truly depend on and rely on to kind of open my mind or even give their perspective on things, and I can relay that to you guys. So thanks, guys, for being here with me and being here with Sabrina. She's taking a nap, my poor baby. And I'm so grateful for you guys. I pray that your guides and your ancestors and God always continue to protect you and guide you and put you on the path to your self healing and to becoming your best self. Um, and I pray we all, as a collective, como los tarot readers, as a collective, we all find fulfillment and find something that really like opens our heart and our minds and makes us feel like we're alive again. So, thanks guys for watching. Toodles!